Hello everyone and welcome back to Bladesong. Alright, so we are finally inside the city and this is our first day of work in here. Well, let's take a look. I suppose we might as well just jump into it. Who do we have? We have Handy, Benyon, Willem and Bruka. Let's take a look. We have still 8 points, so if we wanted to, we could do Benyon and someone else. Yeah, that's the best we can hope for. Okay, let's start with Benyon. So you are... Your next customer looms... Ooh, he's looking for Book the Heavy Hand. Anyways, your customer looms at the door, his expression grim. Make me a swordsmith. His voice is a guttural rasp. He doesn't seem inclined to go any further detail. Well, you know what, it's fine. Let's take a look at the scrap peddler. Do you have that book? So heavy hand. Sword essentials, modular thinking, twisted steel, and the heavy hand. Very good. Okay, 100. Ooh. And this will give us the gladius. Nice. I've been hoping for this one. Basically, if you have been looking at my shorts that I have made, I made a gladius recently for a YouTube short, and at this very moment I am in a bit of a gladius making spree, so you know what, let's go for it. Thank you very much, that's 100 coins. We could afford 2 more if I really wanted to. Sword essentials, well, essentials sounds about right. I will buy the essentials, but not much more than that. Yeah, I think that this is where I will stop buying stuff. Okay, let's go home. Okay, I think we have everything. Let's get started. So he is asking for a long, one-handed, mobile sword with a regular point. Should be fairly easy to do. 18 steel. Thankfully we have picked up a lot of steel from the storage, so that's fine. Plus he will give us a bunch of extra scrap that we can break down. Good, let's go for it. Okay, as usual, we will start with the length. That will do. And let's take a look at the hilt first. So he's asking for 2 stuff from the heavy hand book. We could go for a rapier. No. We could go for this 2-hander, but for a one-handed sword is not going to be alright. Let's go for the gladius. Yeah. There we go. As I said, right now I'm in a bit of a gladius making spree, so let's just go for that. And we could use a quillen block. I have used, I believe, no, not this one. I think I have used this one for one of my swords previously. We could use it again. What about this one? This one could work as well. But you know what? This is going to be a very simple gladius, it's fine. In fact, just shrink this one down as much as possible. Yeah, that will do. Okay, so we have one of these. Do we have a... Yeah, we have a pommel as well. I will use one of these, it's fine. Right, so... for the handle... He is not asking for anything special for the handle. I suppose I will make it out of wood, obviously, but... Do we have the reverse tapers yet? No, we don't. Oh, there is one. Inverse taper. Okay, we can use this with the diamond. Okay, shrink it down a little bit. Do we have the rings yet? No. Okay, this is going to be extremely simple. Okay, I'm not even going to give it a more interesting handle. This is fine. Just make sure it is relatively small, so we don't use a lot of wood for it, and long enough for a handle. Yeah, that will do. Okay, just give it a... I mean, I suppose we could use one of these for the pommel. We don't have to use a actual pommel piece for a pommel. So for example, we could do this. This is actually... it doesn't look too bad for a pommel, for a gladius. Yeah, you know what, let's use this one. Okay, so we have both of the heavy-handed pieces. Now we just need to make it mobile with a regular point. Anything we want to add? Not really. Maybe a little bit of decorations here and on the other side, if I can quickly take a look. There we go. Yeah, I will leave it. Oh, okay, fine. One more here. There. Okay, don't go overboard with the decorations. Doesn't have to be a nice sword. Alright, so blade mode. Let's make it first a lot thinner. Technically speaking, this is now an acceptable sword. Alright, and we still need to give it a point. He is not asking for any sharpness or anything like that, but still, a sword is not much without a cross section. Well, since it is a gladius, we might as well go for this. It is a little bit long for a gladius, obviously, but you know what? It's fine. Can I make it ever so slightly shorter? A simple tap. A single tap, that's all we can do. Okay. Everything appears to be satisfied. We only use 3 extra wood. Ooh, that's a lot of steel actually. Can I shrink the pommel down a little bit? Okay, that's not a lot of change, but I think the bulk of the steel is going into the actual blade. Unless that's only 6, the pommel only 1. Yeah, most of it is inside the blade. Suppose if we make it a bit narrower, that would help, but then the whole gladius vibe will go away. In fact, I think for gladius this one should be a lot wider as well, but you know what, it's fine. Everything is satisfied. This one will be the ancient. Sure. The big man's eyes flicker over the blade, he grunts with satisfaction and drops a bag of coin into your waiting palm. Okay, so our first customer is left satisfied. Nice. Next up, let's take a look. So we can do Bruka or Handy. Let's see. A middle-aged woman enters your forge holding a blade so notched and worn is clearly beyond salvage. This is beyond repair, I take it. She sets the decrepit weapon on your counter with an apologetic shrug. You tell her it might be good for salvage at least. I thought so. Can you make me a new one? Okay, so nothing really interesting. What about Handy? You are distracted from your work by the sound of giggling. Looking up, you see a hulking man hunched in your doorway, staring at you with unnatural intensity. The name's Handy. I need a sword. I can pay. Given his height and broad shoulders, the man's voice is pitched incongruously high. His field-spiked beard and dirty nails give the impression of a man for whom hygiene is an alien concept. What do you need a sword for? The man cocks his head, stalking towards you and leaning uncomfortably close. His breath reeks of sewer. Is the dust in the air, my friend? Dust, which gets into your pores, make you think things. The Mask King unleashed the dust in order to control your minds. He wants to build a castle from our bones. Okay, he is crazy. So you need a sword to protect yourself. I'm surrounded by folk who are full of dust. I need to cut them. Okay, I am not going to serve this guy. Bruka, you're up. She will give us 73 plus a couple of extra. Okay, fine. Let's go with her. Oh, right. I didn't check, but alabaster, I believe we have that pigment already. Everything else is okay. Alright, let's go for it. Okay, it is as long as it needs to be. That's fine. And let's take out the hilt next. Let's go for something simple. Yeah, I don't know. I suppose if we shrink this one down, it should be okay. Maybe even like that. Yeah, you know what? That will do. I don't think we can, no, we cannot curve these yet, but hopefully soon. As for the handle, once again, keep it simple. A simple tapered oval will do. One-handed, that will be fine. And the pommel. For the pommel, let's use... maybe I can make this one ever so slightly smaller so we don't have to pay so much wood for it. Yeah, that will do. Okay. Next up, the actual blade. As usual, make it a lot thinner. Right? And... oh, right, we need to color something white. I suppose the actual hilt will do, although we did shrink it down, so I don't think this will give us 1 point. Let's see, let's give it cow leather. No, that's enough. Okay, 1 point exactly, good. Yeah, that will do. Next up, we satisfied everything, but obviously a blade is not a blade without an edge. Sure, leave a bit of extra flat space on top and just create another cross section at the tip so it looks a bit nicer. Yeah, that will do. Do we want to do anything at the bottom of the blade? No, I think this is fine. Just ever so slightly move this one here. Let's see, nip it back. Yeah, that's a good start, but I think I would like to maybe do it this way. Yeah, I think I will be happy with this. I think we can call this one good enough. Very simple, but I think it looks kind of nice. I wish we could polish the blade already, but unfortunately that is a level 9 skill as far as I understand from the complaints on Discord, so it will have to wait a little bit. Anyways, I will name this one your Secundus, because this is a replacement for a sword, so this is a second sword for someone. Okay. Offered to the customer, she takes the new blade in hand, nodding with satisfaction at the familiar balance. Feels like my old blade. Back when it was new, I forgot what a proper edge looks like. You might as well take my old steel, forge it into something new. I'll take better care of this one. Well, hope it will serve you well. Okay, we have a single point. I suppose we can just break something down, or what do we get for repairing stuff in the city? 20 and 10, yeah, the same. Okay, let's break something down, which is going to be... we are hurting for steel for the most part. Yeah, break down the ruined helmet. +6. That's not a lot. Well, I think we can take a look at the map now. Let's see what we are dealing with. Okay, so we can go to the tannery. We can go to the... well, we can stay in the forge. We can go to the den. The den. I should speak to the tannery owner about Caswin's death. Well, we still need to find... well, let me see if I remember the name. Was it Lucius B something? But you know what? Let's go to the den first. Maybe we can ask around about this guy. Yeah, it's a tavern, as expected. Eren Keep is the first taste of civilization you've had in a while. Craving music and merriment, you go in search of your nearest tavern. As you walk in, it becomes apparent that the den is more than a tavern. It is a shrine to past glories and future conquests. The taxidermied head of a colossal bear is mounted like a grim totem, watching over the crowd. Patrons ring beneath it as if, in the absence of the voices, they have found a new, unspeaking deity. The bar's clientele are men and women whose scars outnumber their teeth. The timber columns are notched with the marks of prior brawls. The rough floor has been scrubbed, but not quite well enough to remove ancient stains of beer and, you suspect, blood. Assess the clientele. Examine the bear's head. 60%. Hanging like a hideous moon over the main hall is the taxidermied head of a colossal bear. And it appears to have some horns as well. Clearly unnatural in origin, fanged and terrible. Horns branch from his misshapen skull, grasping at the ceiling like claws. Success, good. Such a thing isn't impossible. Much wildlife has been twisted by the wrongness that stole across the land after the sundering. You've heard tale. Okay, I suspect this is a misspelled. You've heard tales that some of those monstrous beasts have grown the size of houses, capable of toppling trees in a single swipe. Okay, XP and we are inspired. Nice. How would someone even hurt one of these things, let alone kill it? You immediately start imagining the blade you would need to cut through a solid yard of muscle and fur. Okay, assess the clientele. The scarred ruffians at the bar are known as crows because, like crows, they are cunning scavengers, pecking at the wounds of a dying world. Warriors and wanderers, the crows venture outside of Eren Keep to work as sellswords for mad warlords or plunder the wasteland for loot from the bygone age. The den is where they drink to forget what they have seen. The crows make up the bulk of the den's customer base, but there are others. A man sits in the corner, his soft features and slight build marking him as an outsider. By the heart, a bard plucks at his lute. At a nearby table, a pair of off-duty guardsmen play cards. Let's talk to the barman, maybe he will be able to point us towards the guy. The barkeep is ensnared in an argument with one of the crows. The crow is a hulking figure, arms corded with muscle, bald-headed except for a black topknot. He is also drunk beyond redemption. Even his comrades have given up on him for the night. You catch him mid-rant as you approach the bar. Hulking warrior. If the coward in this Trisdam Keep had half a spine, they would rip that mask off and see what you are really bowing to. The crow may be huge, but the barkeep isn't a small man either. He stares down the crow without apparent fear, casually reaching under the bar to some hidden implement of war. Listen carefully. I won't tolerate that kind of talk in my tavern. If you wish for that and want to keep insulting the Masked King, take it elsewhere. You won't do it under my roof. You're as blind as the rest of them. The Masked King is a godless cur. May he rest nest in his bloody mask and feast on his face, if he has one. The crow storms out into the street. Shaking his head ruefully, the barkeep turns his attention to you. They are like children sometimes. What can I get you? Pint of reliable or something stronger? Let me see. Reliable was that. Tell me about something stronger. I have some questions for you. Ask away. I got nowhere else to be right now. There we go. Lucas Boronia. Okay. Do you know a man named Lucas Boronia? The barkeep's eyes light up with instant recognition, finally. Aye, everyone knows Lucas. He helped me get the loans I need to set up this place. What do you need from him anyway? Explain how you meet Shavana outside the walls. Yeah, sure. A sad tale indeed, and one I've heard 100 times over the years. Plenty of hopeless souls wash up outside our walls. But with Lucas on her side, she just might make it. He is well connected and wealthy, but more than that, he's a good man. Lots of friends and surprisingly, few enemies for a man of his status. Ooh, good to hear. Where can I find Lucas? The barkeep pauses, flicking a washcloth over his shoulder. I reckon you can find him in Citadel Square most evenings. He will be sitting at his usual table outside the fallen door, holding court. Always a line of folk waiting to bend his ears. A new location has been added, Citadel Square. Good. Okay, can I put an advertisement for my smithy? The barkeep shrugs. I don't see why not. You affix a poster to one of the den's wooden beams. As your hammer strikes ring out across the bar, the crows look over with curiosity. Ooh. Faction reputation. I didn't know we have this kind of system in the game. Nice. Okay, let me see, do you serve food? What were you and that crow arguing about? I can imagine. What? That bear head, is it real? I don't know. Are you real? I think so. Very clever, but you know what I'm asking. Is it from a real animal or is it some kind of hoax you stitched together? It's from a real animal, right? And of course, I stitched it together. That's what taxidermy is. Yeah. Now, could you excuse me? It's a busy night. He bustles away to serve one of the crows, and you have trouble attracting his attention again. Okay. Let's go ahead and talk to the crows. In the safety of the den, the crows don't wear armor, but they still have swords at their hips and grisly trophies adorning their bodies. When you approach, a deadly quiet steals over them. What do you want? I would like to buy you all around. Eternal life and enough gold to fill a mill pond. Failing that, happy to just share a drink. I suppose we can afford 20 coin. I'm the new blacksmith. I thought I would introduce myself. Let's just buy a round. It's fine, we can afford it. The mood at the bar brightens considerably. Well, why didn't you say so? You slide a heap of coins across the bar. The barkeep begins pouring tankard after tankard of caustic-smelling booze. You know the way to a woman's heart, don't you? Take a seat if you like. Yeah, sure. It's a little like sitting among tigers. Even when relaxed, there's an air of danger about them. These are folk who make a living from killing. They've seen so much death, they no longer fear its sting. Right now, they are drunk and merry. Hopefully, they stay that way. Of the 6 gathered at the bar, the friendliest, or rather, least hostile, is the hulking tattooed woman who's been speaking to you so far. Sitting beside her is a sallow man, twirling a dagger. his face half hidden behind dark curtains of hair. When you look beyond him, you meet a pair of leering eyes deeply set within a hideous face. The crow's corroded yellow fangs are too large for the jaws they've been wedged in. When you glance away, he emits a high-pitched giggle. You can call me Hawk. My associate with the dagger, that's Charmer, don't piss him off, okay? The guy with the teeth, that's Jags, he doesn't say much in case he bites his own tongue off. Introduce yourself as a new smith in Eren Keep. Introduce myself as a new smith in Eren Keep. The crows exchange glances. In their line of work, they are often in need of a good smith. You watch as they visibly struggle to remember their manners. I'd heard a new smith was in town. Good to put a face to a name. About time they found someone to fill old peasant shoes. Okay, plus reputation. Can I keep track of the reputation somewhere? Not so far. Anyways. Who was that arguing with the bartender? Oh, that was Marvin. He's not one of my crew, but we catch a drink together sometimes. I would sooner trust a viper, but he spins a good yarn. Can't hold his liquor, that's for sure. Even us crows know better than to insult the Masked King in his stronghold. Okay, I guess that's it for now. As you turn away, one of the crows mutters something that's surely unflattering. The others roar with derisive laughter. The hour is late. Outside, a watchman clanked his bell. Curfew approaches. In the den, the night draws to a close and gambling patrons all are ushered out into the street. Okay, I couldn't talk to anyone apparently. But at least we managed to take care of Lucas, which was a good development. Okay, let's leave. As you step outside to the street, the clamor of the den fades. You notice the drunk crow from earlier, the one who was arguing with the barkeep. He slumped in the gutter, half-conscious, with dried vomit plastered down his tunic. Carnus, what has he done to you? Despite his mumbling, the crow's glassy eyes do not focus on you. No, I don't think so. Help him get to an inn. We have enough money anyways, plus it's not very fitting for our focus for this game, right? You splash the crow's face with water from a nearby trough. Slightly sobered, his eyes finally focus on you. Well, who are you? I am the new blacksmith in town. Come on, let's get you on your feet. Doesn't matter anymore. You half support, half drag the huge man to a nearby inn. The man at the front desk promises to see him safely to bed. Your good deed done for the evening, you head back to your forge, wondering if the drunk crow will ever remember your face. Reputation plus 15. Okay, so we did 2 times 30 plus 15, right? I guess we will see. Okay, you have gained reputation with a faction. Select the highlighted button to see how to reach the next rank. Oh, there we go. That's what I was looking for. So crows, rank 0, 250. Yeah, 60 plus 6, 30 plus 30 plus 15. Okay, let's see what we have in store for us today. We have Owen. Wait, didn't we have an Owen outside? Okay, just a random name. But we have Banyan. If the expensive seals didn't give away this customer's wealth, his plump belly would. The denizens of Eren Keep might not face daily famine like the applicants do, but only the rich eat well enough to put fat on their frames. Greetings, good smith. I am in need of a fine sword to wear at my hip, something that befits my station. Leather, silver, 200 regular point straight blade. Okay. We can do this one quite easily. 4 points. So if we do Banyan, then we can go with Iago as well. But that's it. Okay. Better to do 2 jobs instead of just 1, because if we do Owen or Delilah, then we are out of luck for the rest of them. But anyways, I will check on Delilah just in case. A woman appears at your forge. She is asking for black pigment, so we cannot do her job, but bouncing from foot to foot with irrepressible energy. Her smile is broad and utterly guileless. Oh, wonderful, you're here. I need a sword. I probably won't even use it, but everyone seems to have one of these days, don't they? Okay, I think I will go for Banyan and Iago. Well, plus, this one appears to have a different symbol. I suspect this might be some kind of a story mission, so let's go with him first. Okay, first things first, let's make it long enough. Okay, that will do. Next up. You know what? Let's take care of the point next. It only needs to be a regular point, so it doesn't need a lot of taps. That will do. And yeah, just take care of the blade now. It doesn't need to be any, you know, special function, so he is only looking for something nice. Okay, I think I'm happy with the blade, at least for now. Not much we can do without polishing, so I think I will leave it here. Yeah, let's go for the hilt. So, he is asking for a two-handed blade. He is not asking for anything specific, apart from the leather and silver. 2 points of silver. Let's take a look. I think we might as well just go for a quillen block. We don't have anything to put here, but you know what? It's fine. I think this will do just fine. Or we can go for this one too. Make it small, just long. Yeah, that will be fine. Okay. This is... how much points of silver will this cost? That is not going to be enough. That's fine, we can add some more later, but I want it to be nice and shiny. Next up, we need it to be two-handed. Ooh, interesting sword to say the least, but you know what? I think it will do. Now, we need leather for the handle. I suppose we might as well just put some on it. Let's make it black. Yeah, that's going to be enough. A little bit much, but you know what? It's fine. Yeah, okay, don't use this quillen block. Let's use a proper handle or a crossguard. If I turn this one silver, is that going to be not quite? Ooh, we don't have enough silver. Let me take a look. Okay, we don't have enough silver. Okay, fine. Let's pay a visit to the scrap peddler. Surely he has some. Yes, give us maybe... we can afford 10, that's fine. We can sell some stuff, I suppose. But no. I think I will just buy the silver and we can leave. So, once again, silver, very shiny. Oh, sorry. Silver, please. There we go. And if I make it ever so slightly, maybe smaller instead, and have the pommel to be silver. So something like this will do. Yeah, that's good enough. Now the pommel. Let's have the pommel being something small that I can make bigger. Yeah, I think this will do. So if I make this one silver, and once again, shiny. So this is 3.3, ooh, that's a lot. As small as possible, 2.8. Let's see. 2, okay, that's fine. Which means we might want to make this one taper down so it will fit. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, not too bad. So, leather just need 1 point, so ever so slightly longer. This way, there we go. Okay, everything appears to be satisfied. I really wish we could polish the blade already, but hopefully soon. We should be unlocking level 7 fairly soon. Okay, I think we can call this one good enough. Let's call this the servant. Right. Well, do we want to make the silver match the blade? Because until we can polish the blade, this might be a bit much. But you know what, it's fine. So only just enough points to satisfy the silver, just enough points to satisfy the leather, don't overspend. Yeah, I think we can call this one good enough. The plump man smiles like a contented seal as he draws the sword partway. The steel glimmers. Well, it's not polished, so I don't think so, but whatever. A fine blade indeed. Mayhaps I shall recommend your services to my friends. Please do so. Ooh, nice. Level 7, yes please. Let's take a look. So we can do part bending. Well, basically this will allow us to not just make the different parts longer, but also bend them around. So that will be kind of nice. But I think I will go for the fullers. This will allow us to make these middle parts between the two edges a lot more interesting. Basically we can create these concave indents in the blade. It might even cut down on the amount of steel we are using, I'm not sure. But anyways, unlock the fullers, please. There we go. Okay, let's go for the next job. So, as I said, Iago. Yeah, nothing special. He's asking for sword essentials, so that one should be... Wait, that's not the blacksmith essentials. Did we buy that one? I think this is it. Yeah, sword essentials, this is it. Okay, good, we have everything we need. So, Iago, you're up next. Let's go for a one-handed short blade, apparently. That's fine. Let's take care of the blade first. This one needs to be mobile, so I think I will make the blade relatively thin, like this. In fact, we could make it less wide as well. But I don't think we can cut down on the steel used, so... Let me see, if I make it as narrow as possible... Yeah, it's not cutting down on the amount of steel used, so there, that will do. Next up, the point needs to be a regular point, so something like that. I am happy with that. And next, the cross section. Okay, so since this doesn't need to be very sharp, I will go until here with the cross section. Next up, the usual point cut off. Yeah, that looks good to me. And let's add the fuller. So let's go ahead and use the rounded one. So let's see how this one works in with the hammer. Right, we make it wider first. There we go. Okay, so now this is as wide as it needs to be. Next, it is going for depth. We can keep an eye on the cross section. We can go all the way down until they touch. Unfortunately, we cannot make it so deep that we create a channel or a hole inside the blade. I will go, I don't know, this might be a bit much. Okay, go back a little bit. Let's go for, yeah, this much. Don't overdo it. And I suppose we might as well just bring it all the way to the end of the blade. There we go. So this is a fuller. I suppose I could make it a bit narrower so it doesn't go from bevel to bevel. Let me just take a look. So if we change the width and bring it back a little bit. So it only goes maybe a tiny bit wider and a little bit deeper. So how does this look? Yeah, I think I like it better this way. And if we really wanted to, we could add a pair of side fullers, maybe just here at the start of the blade. I will just take a quick look. So, wait, we cannot do side fullers yet. Okay, never mind. I will leave the blade here, I think. It's fine. So, hilt. Needs to have 2 from the essentials and one-handed. Easy enough. Not bad, actually. I think I actually kind of like it. If we could make the blade polished, I would be even happier, but you know what? I will settle for this. Okay, I think... the Merry Man. Sure. Let's go for this. Offer to Iago. Iago takes the new blade with a look of childish delight. He weighs it in his hand, spins it in his grip, and finally slams it into his sheath with a flourish. A perfect blade, better than even old Tessan could have done. I will definitely be coming back again, Smith. Thank you very much. He strolls out into the street, his blade clinking about his person with each step. And we are completely out of points. I will try to pay a quick visit to Lucas. Maybe we can take care of Chef's quest and I think we can call the episode there. Not much else we can do. I suppose we could pay a very quick visit to the scrap peddler so we can buy some steel. But other than that, I think we are good to go. So quickly buy some steel. So we are prepared for tomorrow. We still have plenty of money. We could buy some of these. This will give us extra quillen blocks. This one as well. Ooh, and this will give us rings as well. Very, very tempting. We have 350. Okay, I think I will buy this modular thinking. No, wait, no. In case we need to pay something for this quest, I don't want to get caught out, so no. Thank you for the steel. But end the day and maybe we can pay a visit to Lucas. Sorry, Casvin, you have to wait. Chev was here first. So, Chev's uncle can be usually found here. All the city streets eventually wind their way here, the grand plaza called the Citadel Square. Marcus thought raise a colorful maze around its perimeter. Above it all, the high citadel looms. Built into the bones of the mountain itself, the citadel's imposing gate is carved into sheer rock. Access is limited only to those of noble blood and their guests. Wagons fresh from the base unload their goods. A traveler in dusty leather sits on a barrel, regaling children with tales of the world outside. Let's start with this one. Search the marketplace for useful contacts. 70%. You walk beneath the awnings, keeping an eye out for anyone selling steel. Success. Nice. Soon enough, you strike up conversation with a friendly ironmonger at a stall selling pots and pans. Her arms are covered in burn scars from some prior accident at the furnace. I heard someone had moved into Tessan Falber's old forge. How is the keep treating you? I can finally sleep without keeping an eye open. Here, they will stick a dagger in your back, not your front. I'm in the early days of setting up my business, but things are looking promising. Can I buy steel from you going forward? Yeah, I think I will answer this. I'm setting up the early days. Folk will be happy to have a swordsmith in town who is less surly than Tessan was. What happened to Falber? The ironmonger lowers her voice. Rumor is he got sent to the farm mines for murdering his wife. Would explain why she went missing alongside him, but no one's sure. Wouldn't surprise me if that were true. Old Tessan had a temper. His black moods would end up in black eyes for a poor woman. Oh. Can I buy steel from you from now on? Well, of course. That is my trade. I did the same for Tessan when he was around. I can already tell you will be far more pleasant to deal with. Nice. If we buy some food now, I suppose we will be well fed, which means we should have extra energy for tomorrow. For 4 coins, absolutely. Your ration token buys you a blackened sausage and a chunk of coarse bread. The vendor doesn't volunteer what went into the sausage and you don't ask. And we are well fed. Nice. Still, why can't I look for Lucas? Oh, there we go. Meet with Lucas at the Fallen Door. Pay attention to the options. I don't want to run too long because, well, the last time we went to the den, then we had a limited amount of time, so let's go ahead and try to meet with Lucas. Lucas sits outside the Fallen Door, deep in conversation with a richly dressed man in silk brocade. When he sees you approach, he waves them away. How can I help you, my friend? Tell him about Chev. Lucas listens to your tale with growing interest. When you tell him his niece is outside the city walls, he sits back in shock and reaches for his drink. By the burning dead, Chevena. I haven't seen her since she was knee-high. I thought my brother and her and his family all perished in the Sundering. To find that my niece is alive, not only alive, but just outside the walls, why, this is a joyous occasion. Drink with me, my friend. He calls over the waiter. What's your poison? The Ashen Star Ale is excellent, but the meat is rather good too. I need to keep a clear head. Of course. Lucas drains the last foam from his cup and signals to the waiter to bring him another. As he sets down the glass, though, the joy is already fading from his face. Poor Chevena, she must have endured great hardship to cross the wastes. Getting her through the gate will be no small feat. Did she mention any skills? Botany, crafting? Can she handle a sword? Not certain, not that I recall. In that case, getting her in is going to be almost impossible. Every day the marshal grows more reluctant to issue permits. The city is already overcrowded, undersupplied. I should go and visit her, make sure she's alright. Do you mind accompanying me? I would appreciate the support of someone familiar with the camp. Of course. Just promise you wear something inconspicuous. Your clothes will mark you as an outsider. Of course, give me a day to make the necessary arrangements. Do you know anyone who can supply me with wood? Do you know anything about what happened to Tesson Felber? Not much. He was here one day, gone the next. I try to see the good in everyone, but sometimes it requires a magnifying glass. Tesson was one such case. He was rude and ill-tempered, though, by all accounts, an honest businessman. His wife, Alice, was a kind soul, but sadly, under the thumb of her brute of a husband. She worked as his assistant in the forge. She went missing around the same time as he did. Do you know anyone who can supply me with wood? I know a reliable carpenter. His name is Oscar. Last I heard, he was over at the Steady Stay, helping them out after some drunk crow smashed up the place. New location, the Steady Stay. Okay. Switch the topic to personal matters. What do you need? What do you do exactly, Lucas? I suspect he is a loan shark, but Chef told me you moved to Eren Keep to find your fortune. Looks like it worked. What do you do exactly? Can you not tell? I am a layabout. Lazy, good for nothing. I talk until my throat is hoarse, and I drink to soothe my pain. Then the drink sets my tongue waggling, and the cycle begins anew. Talking is your trade then. That's right, you understand. I know almost everyone, and almost everyone knows me. I can be trusted to keep a secret or fairly resolve a dispute. I used to be a merchant, but strangely enough, I make a better living trading connections than I ever did trading silks. Chef told me you moved to Eren Keep. It looks like it worked. I was a rash and headstrong man in my 20s. I identified a trade route between Eren Keep and Orlan that could turn a profit. I thought everyone else was just too stupid to notice it. But the trade route was less straightforward than I hoped. I made some marginal profit, but it wasn't long before the Houndsburg League took notice and started undercutting me at every turn. He takes a contemplative sip of beer, his eyes focused on a point in the far past. So what did you do? I realized my real talent wasn't in spotting trade routes, it was in spotting people. Even when my business was failing, other merchants would seek me out to talk through their problems. So I started hosting informal gatherings at the Fallen Dough, just drinks and conversation. Merchants would complain about suppliers, suppliers would grumble about shipping costs. I listened and remembered everything. Now, when I connect people who can help each other, they show their strengths in their own ways. A bottle of fine wine, fresh bread at my door, a coin or two for my trouble. I never ask for payment, I just bring people together and they show their gratitude in ways that can keep me afloat. I still laugh about it sometimes. I spent years working all hours as a frustrated merchant, but I found my true calling at the bottom of a glass of ale. Okay, I will take the lesson to heart. Life has been hard lately, but we can rebuild. Everything happens for a reason. Okay, I think I will say goodbye and visit again tomorrow because he needs to find some inconspicuous clothing. A pleasure. Leave Chef's plight with me for a moment. There must be someone who owes me a favor. The sun has slipped below the horizon, curfew draws near, the city watch swinging their bells and shouting at citizens to make their way home. Okay, good thing I actually went for him right now. The evening air grows chill as the warmth of home beckons. Down steep and winding streets you go, leaving the bustle of Citadel Square behind. Okay, good thing I went with him because, as I said, apparently in the keep we have limited time to talk to people at night. But anyways, I think we might want to say goodbye now because we are over time. So, for now, all that is left to say is that thank you for watching. If you liked the video, you can leave a like, leave a comment, and maybe subscribe to the channel if you want. If you would like to support me a little bit more, you can do so by clicking the join button and becoming a channel member, which will give you an early and ad-free access to these videos. Once again, thank you for watching and thank you very much for your support. I will see you in the next one. Thank you and goodbye.